In my last video, I was talking about how losing fat is done, and the premise of that whole video was that you need to be in a calorie deficit. And in order for you to lose fat, you had to eat less than what you needed. And I gave examples of the Twinkie diet and the McDonald's diet and so on. So I'll link that video somewhere here for you to watch. What I want to do today is, how do I find my calorie deficit, or how many calories I need per day? And I'm going to go through the step-by-step maybe way of doing that and figuring that out. So watch this video and you'll see exactly how you can do that and how you can calculate it, so you can get a better idea of how much you should eat per day for you to lose weight.
Go to concerts with your great-grandchildren. That's amazing.
Beer itself is a tremendously powerful lever. And when I say a lever, I mean a chemical lever.
It's not that they don't get heart attacks. They just don't get them when they're 65.
That a regular gratitude practice can enhance many, many aspects of our physical and mental health.
I mean, there is simply no better elixir for metabolic health than being active.
So the first step in what we need to figure out in this equation is based on your lifestyle, based on who you are, how many calories are you going to need per day? And there's a lot of calculators online that you can use, and it's the easiest way. So we're going to jump into that and see, find a calculator that will work. So we'll go to Google and we will put in there Calorie Calculator, and you're going to get a whole list of them. So we'll use this one for Mayo Clinic. And basically, you're going to put in your age. So I'm 45 and my height is 6 foot. And my weight is about 188 and I am a male. All right. And those are the basic information. You can switch to the metric units if you want. You're going to put next. Once you press next, it's going to ask you how active you are. And if you remember in my last video, what I talked about was your dependency on how many calories you need is how active you are during the day. Not the workouts, but how active you are in terms of your NEAT. If you remember the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that means if you take the stairs, if you walk to work, if you are fidgety, if you walk around when you're on your phone and stuff like that. So the activity level, like my job is as a trainer, I'm always on my feet, I'm always lifting weights around, changing weights, putting them back on. I'm always insistent on taking the stairs rather than the elevator. I park far away so I can walk. I get over 10,000 steps a day. So I'm considered an active person. And you have 4 categories here. You have an inactive, so you rarely move, somewhat active, active, and very active, okay? So for my purposes, I'm going to put very active because I do work out, I do cardio every day, I do jiu-jitsu, and my lifestyle is quite active that I'm rarely sitting unless I'm kind of doing these videos and editing. And then we just press calculate. And this is going to give us a basic need of what your daily calorie needs are. Mine are... It's my dad calling. Anyway, that's 3,100 calories that I need. And it'll give you a few categories there that we're looking at, which is you're very active, active, somewhat active, and inactive. And based on that, you have your starting point. So for me, it's 3,100 calories, which is my maintenance number. Now, this is a rough estimation, and this is where it's a bit of trial and error. We try to figure out what works and what doesn't, but this is my starting point. So if I want to lose weight, in theory, I'm going to drop that down by about 15%. So let's say about 300 calories. So I'll be about 2,800 calories per day. And that should be put me in a deficit, all right? Now, having said that, the next step is figuring out where I am in terms of how much I eat and how many calories I'm taking per day, okay? And that's our next step that we're going to do, and I'm going to show you that on my phone. I'm going to show you now the second part of how we're going to understand how many calories you're actually taking in per day. Some of you might be above, some of you might be below. And you are going to be surprised when you do track this for about 5 to 7 days. You will be surprised what you thought was the quantities that you're having is a lot different. And most people are eating more than they should. or they're drastically eating less protein than they should. And that's usually, I would say 95% of my clients, I've always noticed that it's one of those two. Go into your phone, and I'm going to use a phone here, and I'm going to use something called MyFitnessPal. There's other ones out there, and I'll link it into the video. But basically, this is what you're going to get, your dashboard in the beginning. It'll tell you how many calories, and you need to set it up based on your goals and your needs. But what I want you to do here is that you're going to go into your diary, and it's going to give you lunch, dinner, snacks, and whatever it is, however way you set it up. So I'm going to go into breakfast, and this is my history, so everybody's going to be different. And the more you do this, the easier and the faster it's going to become at adding it. And I'm not going to go excuse me, I'm not going to go into detail of how to use this because there's enough videos out there that show you. But basically, when I add things into my breakfast, and then I go into, for example, my lunch, and I add a few things there, and then I go in to my dinner, add food, and add a few more. I'm just putting random things here just so you can see. You will start seeing that there are the total amount of... So this is the point where my microphone died, and I couldn't remember exactly what I was talking about, but I do remember that we were looking at the total amount of calories that you have, and this is what led me into explaining what flexible dieting is. And if you have a daily amount of about 2,000 calories, then when you track your food, it gives you a better understanding of what you can afford to eat in that day. And if you had 500 calories left at the end of the day and you felt like a chocolate bar, or if you're planning to have a burger, you know where you can skip certain meals or certain snacks that you're having in order to have more calories for that meal that you feel like having. So hopefully that added some value into how you're supposed to do this and understand a bit better the step-by-step way of calculating how many calories and how you can actually know if you're above or below that amount. And if you feel that somebody can benefit from this, obviously share it with them. Like and subscribe. There should be an animation somewhere here, maybe, or here, to the video. And I will see you in the next one, where I will be talking a bit more about why being overweight will affect your longevity and your health overall. So until then, enjoy your week, and I'll see you soon.